Good morning. It's Camille. Something came to me this morning and I just want to share. We've all heard the saying, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. As adults, we turn around. I know I've said it and I say, well, words do hurt. The emotion evoked when a word is spoken lasts far longer than the vibrational frequency of sound that we hear when those words are spoken. They resonate in our mind, they resonate in our subconscious, even when we don't know it. So I realized it's not necessarily the word, it's the meaning of the word that we assign in our own lives that hurts us. So when I look at the word love, and I've never experienced love, love is just a word. It has no connection to me. So I would read it and I go, oh, it says love. Much like a lot of words that we're unfamiliar with that we come across on a piece of paper. It isn't until we've experienced the meaning, the dictionary meaning or whatever of the word in our lives that it actually creates this personal emotion or personal response to the word. So it's not just the word itself. Words are just words until we assign them meaning. And I had to go back and evaluate and reevaluate some of the relationships I've had with some negative words or words that I took in a negative manner in my own life. I'll use this quick example for you guys. The other day, I wrote a post about, or I reposted a post that I had written in 2019 about toxic leadership. The word toxic struck a chord with someone who reached out and says the word is overused and people just throw it around willy-nilly or whatever. And so I explained to this person that in this instance I used it in a very literal manner. I was the one there. I spent 25 years in the military. I've been on the receiving end, the followership, and the leadership side. And, I'm smart enough to know what toxic is. And in this instance, in the way that I used it in this story, I meant it in the very, very literal sense. And then the person said, well, I mean, people called me toxic because they don't do this. And I realized that it wasn't about the word or the story that I used it in. It was about their association with the word and the negative connotation that came with it in terms of their leadership style. So I had to explain to this person that sometimes we need to stop, making excuses or trying to change the word, but stop and think, why is it that I'm getting so offended? And is part of what someone said true? you know, Oftentimes we want to believe that we're the most perfect person and we don't do these. And even our actions, our good actions, have unintentional consequences that we don't necessarily know. We're not responsible for how that person feels, so to speak, unless you're being just outright whatever it is that they called you. Um, but if it strikes a chord, instead of becoming defensive, maybe a conversation should be had, not just with that person, but with yourself. Why am I feeling so ill towards this word or the fact that somebody said that about me? Is there some truth in it? Could I have displayed toxic behaviors in that instant? I may not be a toxic person 24/7, but could I have done something differently or could I have behaved better in that particular encounter? Oftentimes, the answer is actually yes. So I stopped getting so defensive when people say something about me and I go, it could be true. Or it could be true to them based on their experiences and the meaning that they assign to a specific word in terms of how they use it towards me. Now, again, there's some conversation that could be had. And I told that person, sometimes we need to go back and, well, you can't always have, well, especially you can't have conversations when you're defensive about it. Now, if you go with an open heart and say, okay, this is what you said, please tell me why or what it was that I did that, made you choose this word to describe me, and then again, not get so defensive, but is there any truth in it? Now, it's not always true. You know what I mean? Some people, because of where they are mentally, the meanings that they assign to the word, um, could it could look differently to them. We see through the lenses of our own individual experiences. But I realized that it's not the word itself that's damaging, it's the meaning that we assign to the word in our lives that does the most damage. People who are beautiful, if somebody called them ugly, they go, okay, whatever. I know I look good, and the word doesn't bother them. But it's when you have self esteem issues that you may not be as confident as you put on to the outside word, that voice will linger on forever in your head. You'll ruminate about it. This person called me ugly, knowing good and well when you look in the mirror that you're not ugly, but you may be struggling in some areas. So most people go, well, why did that bother her? She knows she's not ugly. There's something else, some other meaning that she's assigned to that word in terms of who she is or her life or her looks that makes it real for her. And that is the damaging thing. It's not the word in and of itself. It's when we assign specific meaning, individual personal meaning to a word. That's when it really, really, really starts to change our lives. So, what words have you assigned a meaning to that maybe shouldn't have meaning in your life? Maybe there are some people who said words that you've assigned the meaning to the word based on the person, and that person shouldn't have that big of an influence in your life. Let them go and let the words that they said about you or with you, whatever the case is, go with them. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. It's not the word itself, it's the meaning we assign to the word, the meaning behind the word, the meaning that has a place in our life, in our experiences, that really does the damage. Go back and reevaluate your relationship with some of the negative words or the words that you've assigned negative meaning to in your life. Change the narrative, change the dialogue, change the association. Sometimes even you might have to let it go. Be blessed. Talk to you guys later.